Hello, America.
Welcome, America, to
Welcome to Angel and the Wiz.
Angel and the Wiz.
You know who's who, okay? We have a guest in the studio today. We're going to be on our best behavior. Now,
Yes.
since you've started this campaign for president, we have some things that we have to review. But just a couple of things. I have to do a couple of thank yous first, okay?
Thank yous.
And first, this is really interesting from my point of view. Okay, we talked about Jonathan Enza from LazyLizard.net.
Yes, we
okay, the server people that run the website, and I got such an incredibly nice email from him. I want to read it because it's just the nicest thing.
Does that mean he watches the show?
I know he watched the one. I know he watched that one.
Yay!
And before I do that, I want to say, you got to
understand. One of our 10 watchers.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, and hello to Mackenzie and everybody that watches the show. And I also want to make sure you understand that when I praise these people for the things that they do, I pay the regular prices. I do everything normal. Nobody's, I'm not getting anything under the table. But I think it's really important to praise people and thank people that do good things, because there's not enough of that, and you need to encourage them. Okay? So so let me tell you about this. This is for those of you that ever get to Florida. I went to when I was getting my chemotherapy. Every Friday, I used to drive past this place called Discount Tire. Okay, and it's on the corner of Osceola and John. Yeah, I'll have it till June. So on the corner of John Young Parkway and Osceola. And I used to keep driving by, and I thought, well, maybe someday I'll go check them out. So I went to Walmart today to get my tires balanced, and the guy said, "See this? You got a broken belt in there." Okay, whoa. So Tina says, "I could put you on the side of the road. You don't want to take a chance with that." So I figured, okay, let me bite the bullet. I wanted to do this anyway. So I called the guys at Discount Time. I got this guy named Joe, and he said,
"Hi, Joe."
Hi, Joe. They all have cards. I have new cards for you today, and
Starting the grassroots campaign.
yes. So I called him on the phone. I told him I go about 14 miles to work. I don't need high-end tires. I know. He told me what it was going to cost. I went there. It was exactly what it said it was going to be. It took me 25 minutes to get there. I was out of the store quicker than that.
Nice.
It was like pulling into a pit stop on a race. Two guys come out, blah, 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 blah. So they did a great job, and I want to give them praise. Because, why? Because they quoted me a price that they lived up to. They matched it when I got there. They treated me nice. They did the work. And
Do
I
they
left.
do oil changes?
I don't know.
Okay.
I had to get my oils changed at Walmart. I get my mechanic work done at Pep Boys, and I got the tires at Discount Tire. I went online, discounttire.com. I just found them. So anyway, I wanted to say that. Now back to LazyLizard.net. Jonathan says in this when he sent it's at the end of the email. I have to put my glasses on because I can't see anything. You'll see why I wanted to read this.
Okay.
Jonathan, I send this out to you and that fella Enza. Wiz, wow, that was awesome. And you know what? You said the absolutely nicest things about us that I could possibly imagine. Thank you so much. I'm going to post this on my Facebook page. Oh, and one thing you said is so true. You have always been kind and decent, and you've always been a gentleman. That was so true what you said. If the customer is kind, it allows us to be kind. Although we try even when they're not. But it is harder. There have been times when I have gotten an email from you and I was almost afraid to open it because I knew that you had every right to be upset. And I knew something was wrong. Either that I knew that the server had been down for several hours or email was down, and I was almost afraid to open it because I knew that you had every right to be upset. And you never were. Not even a single time. And I can't even tell you how much I look forward to and getting support requests from you, because I always know no matter how bad it was, you're going to be a gentleman about it, and for that I thank you. And I have to tell you, you are the first. This is the first time I ever got a support request via YouTube video. So, anyway, I thought that was very, very sweet. So, anyway. So what's been happening in your life? And then when we get... Oh, yeah. We started with roller coasters last week. Last couple of weeks we've had 2 roller coasters. I have a total of 6. So we did 2 the last 2 weeks. We have... This week, we have... I have to cheat and look. This week we have... The Raptor. It's going to show the Raptor being built,
Oh, very cool.
and then the ride itself. And then and next week we have the Magnum XL, which I
Okay,
will tell
cool.
you. Remind me to tell you the story about the Magnum XL,
Okay.
meeting God. So anything exciting and new and happening? No?
No,
Just regular stuff?
just the regular stuff. Yeah, nothing new.
Okay. Well,
My life is very unexciting now. My cat is home. Gandalf is home.
yes, we showed his picture and we talked about his thing.
Yeah.
How's he doing? Is he doing
He's
okay?
doing well.
Right.
Yeah, he's back to his normal self.
Does he
so.
seem like he's recovered?
Yeah.
You got confidence?
Oh
in
yeah,
him?
he goes in the litter box and everything. It's like nothing ever happened.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's what you want. You know, the people that follow our show have vested interest in your
Vested in
happiness
my
with your
cat.
cats, okay?
Yeah. Other than nothing else is new.
I made only one change to your... Oh, did you
Oh,
notice?
Oh, I haven't even picked them up.
No. So I tell everybody, I said, my co-host on the show says I'm opinionated and I should run for president. And I said, no. She did a logo and everything, so this is the card. And so I figured I would follow it up. The only thing I changed was I made president 2016 a little larger.
That's fine.
Just so they, because they could see, I mean, after all, if we're going to, Did I tell you?
We're gonna do a website. That's my project over the summer.
Okay.
We're gonna do a campaign website. So for those of you who are starting the support now, hang tight. This is a work in progress.
Right.
Thank God we got what?
Right.
4 years.
4 years. It's a good thing we got started
3
now.
years. We got 3 years to work on.
And I shouldn't have to worry about, bullets through the car until, much closer to
It's
the
when
election.
the Secret Service show up that you're like, ooh.
Yeah, right. So it's really fun. But, for whatever it's worth. So did I tell you about Tina? So I told Tina, Tina's my wife, and I told Tina, well, we were going to do this. And now just gives you some idea of where Tina's head is at and how used to me she is. The first words were, it cost $3,000 to register to run for president. And I realized she took me seriously. And I said, no, honey, we're just going to do it on TV. We're not going to really register.
Oh, no, we are. Because you know what we're going to do is on our
God.
new website that I
Yes.
built over the
Okay.
summer, we're
Okay.
going to have a donation box and we'll set up a PayPal account or something.
But how do they do that? I mean, we're not a tax-exempt anything.
It's
I mean, we were just-
donations.
Oh, yeah? Okay, well, you're going to handle the money.
donations, yeah.
Right?
I'll
Okay,
figure it
that's
out.
it. You're going to be the campaign manager. I want to have nothing to do. I don't want somebody to show
We'll
up
have
at my
to-
house
we'll
one
have
night
to
and
get
say,
someone to volunteer to be the finance manager.
well, listen, we'll have to say. Now, listen, now, something else that you said, when you caused all this trouble to begin with.
Get rid of
Was,
get
rid of no,
Donald Trump.
They don't know about that yet.
Okay.
But he was, so anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that she said, when she started this, so part of the fun was, the 20 points I meant, and now let me tell you something, I tell people, if you want to see what the 20 points are that we're running on, you can go to YouTube, Angel and Lewis, go to show 96, and in the little box, there's a drop-down box, and it has all 20 points listed. And I tell people, you're the young person that's a bit liberal, and I'm the old person who's a stodgy old conservative. And when I showed...
Together we're an independent.
Yeah, that's true. But the point that I make is that when I showed you my 20 points, you made one change, and we changed it.
Yeah, that
Okay?
was it.
And I thought that spoke very good of what we, being how long, so these are very universal points.
Your points are universal, but I found that they're they're
Fair.
universal, they're fair, yeah.
Yeah, see?
I think that you as an independent is good. You as a Republican, it's
No,
like
you
I
can't
said,
be that.
No.
It's just
And
funny, you can't be a Republican,
I'm
you
glad
can't be a
that
Democrat.
I'm glad that you agree with me because the
Yeah,
political
otherwise they'd be
parties-
held to pay.
No, but I'm saying the political parties have now getting such just being
Negativity,
affiliated
that's right,
with the
that's
political
right,
party
that's
has got
right.
such a negative connotation. Although I will tell you this, so you showed me the document,
I'm going to go through
the
this.
cabinet, yeah, and
cabinet.
then a couple days later I was checking my AP news
Right.
feed on my cell phone and
Right.
it said Sarah Palin was dropped by Fox and I was like, she's free now. Let's
Yeah,
go.
she's available.
She's available.
Well, and you know what? And then there and here, let us use this as a learning moment. Here's an example of news bias in the most subtle way. This is what you people are up against, okay? And this is a classic example. Because the AP has a problem with conservatives, Republicans, etc., anybody in general that does not toe the liberal line, they focus the news and they couch the news the way they want you to see it. Because that's not what happened.
Well,
Fox News, let me
They
finish.
didn't drop her. I know the contract
But
was
that's
not renewed.
that's right.
And that's what
She
they said in the
chose
article.
not to renew it, not them. They
They
came
didn't
to
say
our.
that.
That's
They
right.
didn't.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. The headline was Fox drops Sarah Palin, but the fact of the matter was they approached her to renew the contract, and she decided not to. She declined not to renew it. Now, maybe
they didn't-
because they want her, because
Yeah.
she wants to go do something.
They didn't say. I don't think they said who decided not to renew. They
Of course
just said,
not. That's
they
how
just
you
said the
slant.
contract was not renewed, and I was just like, well, I was excited. I was like,
Oh, me too. I mean, I was happy
I was
about
like,
it.
what? Yes, now
But-
she's available for us.
But the bottom line is, that's what these people at home are up against. Okay,
That's
they are up against news that is not fairly presented, that is presented with a bias, without any identification. They don't come up and they say, we're a liberal place, we're going to say things the way we want, and you can figure it out on your own. Okay, they don't come up. They say, this is the headline. It's like when you saw, you'll love this, folks. It's like when you saw the headline, Oswald kills Kennedy. That was a lie. But that's what they told you because it was that was the plan. Okay, so, oh yes, let me say,
Let's go
very
through
good. 2550, we have to have discipline today. Okay, here we go. Now, so part of the fun of this has been choosing a cabinet. Now, I didn't even know who was in a cabinet. I had to go online and
Find who's
find
the
out.
cabinet. Okay.
Yeah, who's in the cabinet. So, now, I didn't know everything. So
Okay.
I just chose, and I don't know if this is the first time. Did I send this to you? So
Yeah,
saw, okay.
well, you sent me the
But we
original
haven't.
one, and I
Okay, and you've
had
made
some
some
strong
change.
opinion about
Okay.
one person.
Okay, well, and we don't, then. Okay,
Okay.
but now, and I want you folks to know that there's an email address up there. If you want to have any input to the cabinet, please feel free. If you want to volunteer for any positions, please. And we have not discussed it. No,
No.
As my campaign manager and I, we have not sit down and say who is this? Does this work? Does this work? But
The only one I had two comments, and
Okay.
they've been taken care of. So
oh, okay, that's great. Okay, so
let's go down the list.
okay, say Secretary of Treasury. I thought Mitt Romney. He's made a lot of money.
Sure.
We want somebody that knows what they're doing, right? Unless somebody better comes along.
I guess. Yeah.
Secretary of Defense. I want that to be somebody that comes from within the government, but that's a war horse. You know, somebody that is, in other words, I don't have anybody. I'm open to recommendations. But the point that I'm trying to make is, I want somebody that is not afraid to stand up and say, no, you
Okay.
can't do that. Okay, that's what I want. Attorney General Rudy Giuliani, the people in Chicago will jump out windows, okay? They won't know what to do. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
New York,
It's-
all the
I
mob
think-
families across the country will
you
go
know,
into cardiac arrest.
I think they'll be okay because I'm here and I'm from Chicago, so
Yeah, so you'll
there's
be
a
okay.
little bit of home here.
Okay, but the fact of the matter is, he was a great prosecutor. He's an honest guy. He was a great mayor. I was in, I was much more in New York in those days than I am now. Okay, one with this one, Secretary of Energy, head of the EPA, both titles. I'll give to Sarah Palin. She did a lot of work. She did a lot of work in Alaska.
And I don't disagree with that. I
No,
think that's
she would be
good.
great at that. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And she'd reign in the EPA. Now, this Secretary of Transportation, I have a question mark. Do we need a Secretary of Transportation? What does a Secretary of Transportation
I
do?
think we do.
Oh, okay.
Our behind the scenes
That's
just said
okay.
infrastructure.
Okay.
So I think
Now, what do
that
they do? They help design it? Do they plan it? Do they watch over it? I mean, we got some guy now who, who's resigning and getting thrown out or whatever. I don't know which way he's leaving, but he's leaving. And I am
think-
unaware what they
I
do.
would assume that with the idea of infrastructure that they're talking about the highways and
Right.
the interstates and
Right.
the state or national sponsored roads like the U.S. routes.
Okay.
And that those are being maintained or contracted out to other states to maintain or things like that.
Okay, and
So-
then one of the things I would expect him to do, he or she, I could care less, I don't care. Oh, that's something else we're going to talk about. Did we talk last week about grouping? I
No.
know we've talked about it, but I don't know if we talked about it on TV.
Not with this, no.
Okay.
Do we need one? I think we need one.
Okay, but what I want them to do, whoever it is all this tax money that's on gasoline, that's supposed to be used for infrastructure and is being taken by the Congress to pay other bills, I want that cleaned up. I want the money that's taken on gasoline tax
We should steal
used
it.
properly.
You know who has a decent transportation infrastructure?
Who's that?
Disney. Walt Disney World.
You mean find somebody from...
Just steal theirs. Who doesn't want to work for the government? I'm just saying.
Okay, well, so that's an
theirs.
open one. We're looking for somebody. Secretary of Commerce, Small Business Administration. You notice it's empty now.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
That was
So,
originally Donald Trump, and I said no.
Well, I just thought, But my motivation was we want somebody that really knows that stuff. We want somebody. In other words,
I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I think that
we got to find the right person.
Yeah. I think that he's smart, but he's got such a negative public persona right now with and then he overmarkets himself. He does that celebrity apprentice. I don't want somebody who's more interested in the celebrity part of his name instead of doing the right thing.
NBC might have come to him.
So, he's been doing those apprentice shows.
Right.
And then he's gone, like, I feel like over the edge. I don't know how we never talked about it, how he tried to get President Obama's college transcripts, and he was like, the liberal side was calling that extortion or blackmail or something like that. I don't know. I just have to say, like...
Is there any reason why we shouldn't be able to see the President of the United States college transcript? Why should that be classified?
Okay, so besides that part...
He works for us. That's what these clowns don't understand.
Yeah. The manner in which that Donald Trump went about and did that, though, I felt was inappropriate.
Okay.
So, he's just kind of got that negative connotation. We don't want negativity.
We'd like to start as strong as we could.
Yes.
Okay.
So.
But we need somebody. But I want somebody as a Secretary of Commerce and the Small Business Administration that has done it.
Would Mitt
I don't want
Romney be
anybody.
good for that?
Well, maybe so. Remember, this is still fluid.
Okay.
We'll have to review this over the weeks.
If we find a
better Secretary of the Treasury, we'll put Mitt down here. And maybe so. Now, this one, and if you don't know this gentleman, Press Secretary Mark Levin. Now, I don't know if Mark would even take the job, but let me tell you, it would be worth to pay money just to have him be the press secretary.
I've heard the name, I don't know who he is.
He's on talk radio. If you go to marklevin.com, marklevinshow.com, you can listen to this. Mark Levin is he's one of the founders of Judicial Watch. He is an attorney. They're involved in. He's a real active attorney. They do amicus briefs and stuff like that. He is really plugged in. And while he has this great, he might be good as an attorney general, he would be great as a press secretary because he would be able to say to these people, first time you lie, you're out.
Oh, that's true.
We'll fill your chair with somebody else, the next person in line.
Okay.
And it would just annoy them to no end. And they need to be annoyed. They've been lying for a long time. Head of the FBI, I thought you'd want him recommended by Rudy, by the AG. Okay? And
Sheriff Joe.
Sheriff Joe Appario. He's down in Arizona. He's been a really staunch.
Is he he had some controversy about immigration or something like that? Or
they tried to generate controversy around the fact that he wanted to enforce the law. Okay. Oh my God! How could such a thing be allowed?
Whatever. Next.
Okay, next. Okay, head of the CIA. I think the head of the CIA needs to be chosen from within by recommendations. So these that I haven't chosen. They need to have certain characteristics. They need to know certain things. Especially they need to know where the bodies are buried.
I thought that was VP.
It is, but for a different reason.
Okay.
But CIA, and I want somebody that will have the CIA work where they're supposed to work, out of the country. Okay? The CIA, the Central Intelligence Agency, its charter, they work out of America. They have no authority in the country. That's where the FBI does its work, in the country. FBI here, CIA there. All I ask them to do is take all of those corporations and all of those
that they're
fronts.
Spying on over there comes to here.
You call it work with the FBI.
Okay.
Let the people who actually have jurisdiction do the job, and set them up so they talk to each other. Why wouldn't they be able to talk to each
6
other?
minutes.
Okay. We may not get through. May have to finish next week. Okay.
National Security Advisor?
Yeah. And I thought that you'd want recommended by the CIA, FBI, Attorney General.
So all three of them would have to agree on a handful of recommendations?
I think so.
Okay.
And we would have to agree with what they say.
Well, I would want them to present us
with the choices,
here are your 3 choices that all 3 of us agree upon to be the best fit, and then we would go, oh, okay, and then I'd say I don't like his hair, so no.
Gone. The Secretary of State, Jon Bolton. You may not know him.
I don't know who that is.
He is a first-class guy. He's on TV a lot, and he's another one. See, I want people that will speak the truth, that are not afraid to speak up and tell the truth. Because everybody's so afraid to tell the truth. Like the American people can't, you can't handle the truth. You know what I'm saying? No. We all got to grow up a little bit.
I think the American people can handle the truth.
Yeah.
I think that, though, some truths need to not be said. You know what I mean?
Or they need to be presented the proper way. That's why I said that thing about education, not legislation.
There is a national security thing. So,
right.
That's what gets me so irritated about the press sometimes is, they try and leak information, and I'm like, why are you now you've made it less safe.
Yes, and they don't care.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, well, that's what Rush has a little funny, a satirical song that they run, and they talk about if you jihadists want to know what's going on, read the New York Times because they'll tell you. Okay, it's ambassador to the UN. I don't have a tremendous amount of respect for the UN and what it's become. And if you look at the people who run the committees there, and you see how Iran is on the Human Rights Committee, you realize that I'm going to be one of those people that says, listen, if you'd like to move this building and what it does to Syria, that's fine with me. They don't need it in New York. We could use that building for business.
So you said any Democrats, is that because you don't have respect for Democrats? Or do you think that a lot of the world sees us as liberal, so you might as well just put a liberal person on there? No,
really, that was something that, now that we're so serious about it, I wouldn't say it that way. At the moment, I was just thinking, I said any Democrat there, because I don't trust them either. You know what I mean? So, but no, I realized.
But if you want to do something serious, then you have to change that.
It didn't start serious.
Yeah, there are some good Democrats out there that we could pick. I think if you're going to run as an independent, you should have a variety of Republicans and Democrats.
I do too. I think we don't look at their label. We look at what they are. And listen,
I think
next week
Democrats tend to be better as I don't know. I want to say like public. I don't know, not public.
Social issues.
No, yeah, maybe something like that.
But do you know, it was the Democrats that would not vote for the Civil Rights Act. This is amazing to me. The blacks are so.
Right, but
wait. Can I please finish?
3 minutes.
Okay. The Democrats are so endorsed by the African American community, and yet it was the Democrats that would not vote for the Civil Rights Act. It was the Republicans that voted for and passed the Civil Rights Act.
At one point, the Republicans were the moderates, or the liberals, and the Democrats were the conservatives. When did that switch?
I don't think it ever did. I think the media decided it did. Okay, for VP, you saw my Bill Whittle stuff. Did you see anything like him? I just put him up there because he's a straight talking guy.
Right, but I like the idea of you have to have somebody who knows what's going on out there, because we sure as heck we're gonna okay, we're in the White House.
I see what you're saying.
Let's paint it pink.
Yeah, that's what I've been waiting for. Okay, Secretary of Education. I don't know if you know Tom Bock.
I know Tom Bock.
Okay, former superintendent of schools.
We're gonna put Tom Bock in the cabinet.
Okay, Health and Human Services. I wasn't really sure. Did I see where else? Okay, yeah, Secretary of Health and Human Services. I hadn't thought about.
Okay.
I think that should be a doctor or some type of someone who's really involved with medicine.
You should put Dr. Sanjay Gupta up there.
Who's
from
that?
CNN. He's like the CNN doctor or whatever. He's a neurosurgeon.
We can kick it around.
Anyway.
CNN scares me to death. Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Sandra Erickson. I will say right up front, nepotism. This is my cousin.
Oh.
But hear me out.
Okay.
She was nothing but a little girl. And now she has buildings in the Bronx. Nobody paved her way. She worked the whole way through. And anybody would be impressed with her, okay? I felt that the Secretary of Interior should be a top sportsman. Should be somebody...
You missed one.
Which one did I miss?
Secretary of Homeland Security.
Sorry. Oh, that's right. Okay, are we going to get a name today? No, we won't embarrass the poor guy. Secretary of Homeland Security is Angel's roommate.
Yes.
Wait till he comes to get confirmed. That'll be scary. Are you with the girl?
I will tell you, this is what I will tell you. It's a male. He's a former Marine. He served in Iraq, did 2 tours in Iraq. He is very, very, very smart. He studied like wars and culture and things like that.
See, so he fits.
So he would be, I think, perfect for that
Okay.
position. I even told him that too.
Okay.
I said
he didn't freak
he
out?
said I could put his name on there, and I just said no. For right now, you're Angel's roommate. I said, and I said then we'll talk about names later.
Secretary. Okay, so Secretary of Interior, top sportsman. Secretary of Labor. Do we need one?
Yes.
What for? What does he do?
You know what we could use the Secretary of Labor for? Someone to rein in the unions.
That's how I like you. Okay,
Rein
good.
in those unions.
Okay, now we got to get out in 30 seconds. Okay, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Oliver North.
Uh-huh.
Okay, White House Chief of Staff. Yes. Okay. Office of Management and Budget, Lou Dobbs. I like Lou Dobbs. He's really good. Okay. Now listen, you're about to ride on the Raptor roller coaster. This is from our good friends at Cedar Point Amazement Park in Sandusky, Ohio. This is a point of view ride. First, you're going to watch a time exposure of it being built, and then you're going to ride the ride. It's very cool. Okay, so what do you have to say in 5 seconds?
Do something good every day and volunteer at your local animal shelter.
Done. Bon appetit.